Welcome to the Abundance Effect, where we empower ambitious women with practical tools to live their most rich and fulfilling life in business and beyond. I'm your host, Larisa Makuch. Let's get started. Have you ever started something feeling so motivated? You're all in, you've got your plan, you're excited. You're like, this is it. This is my time. And then a few days later, maybe a week, you've fallen off. Not completely, not dramatically, but just enough to know that you didn't follow through. And if you were being really honest, it ain't just once. It's over and over and over again. And at some point, it really stops being frustrating. It kind of feels embarrassing because you know better. You are so much better than that. And if you're a high achieving woman listening to this, this is not about capacity. This is about something even deeper. So if you've ever felt the gap between what you say you're going to do and what actually gets done, this episode is for you. So turn your listening ears on, because today we're going to talk about why inconsistency is quietly draining your confidence. You're going to look at what's actually happening beneath the surface and how you can start rebuilding that self-trust in a way that actually sticks. Now, most women think they need more confidence, right? I think no matter how successful you are, you're going to be confident in some things, but you're going to want even more and more and more confidence. But let me ask you this. What if confidence isn't something you build first? What if it's something you actually earn through how you show up? So here's what's happening. Confidence is not a personality trait. It's actually a prediction your brain makes about your future. Okay, so confidence is a prediction that your brain makes about your future. And your brain, it's constantly asking, hey girl, can I trust you to do what you said you would do? And it answers based on things like past behavior, your past patterns, and evidence. There's real science behind this. Your brain is actually wired for pattern recognition through neuroplasticity, repeated actions, and strengthening neural pathways. There's a study published in Nature Reviews Neuroscience that shows repeated behaviors literally rewire your brain. They make actions more automatic and identity-based over time. So when you follow through, your brain goes, I can do this. When you don't, your brain goes, I don't think I can follow through. And so what happens over time? That becomes your identity. Because confidence is not built through thinking, it's built through evidence. Okay? You can't think your way into confidence, you have to do your way into confidence. Now here's the part that most people miss. Inconsistency does not look like failure. It looks like starting strong, then fading. Oh, I know what to do, but I don't do it. So busy, but not actually moving what matters. These are really, really subtle things because they don't set off alarms. These are things that everyone's doing. You're not the only one. It's really common out there. However, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to. What happens is it slowly erodes your self-trust, your clarity, and your identity. And you don't lose confidence overnight. You actually lose it in really small and quiet moments where you don't follow through. So I felt this in a real way with my health just recently, like the last year or two. I'd never really felt bad about my body until I did. I used to move 12 to 20 hours a week most of my life, dancing, training, just doing things with my body. It's what I did. And then I started sitting more in my new career. Now, I love what I do. I could sit for hours. I could sit for days creating, coaching, building. My body did not love sitting. And my backside did not like sitting in the chair for days on end. Sometimes I wouldn't even go outside for 1, 2, or 3 days. One day I remember I was walking upstairs from my laundry room and I felt sore and tired. I was like, oh my God, I'm panting. and this does not feel good. My knees were sore. My knees had never been sore from going up a flight of stairs in my life. I'd never been sweaty from going up a tiny, like one flight. 3 flights, sure. 1 flight, no. But I went and looked in the mirror after that and thought, who is that? That was a really big wake-up call. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. And I didn't overhaul everything because I know that I have a really great tendency to start and go hard and then fall off the wagon. I get so enthusiastic and it's not sustainable. And I thought, you know what? If I'm going to actually do something about this, if I want to have bursts of woohoo, awesome. But I'm going to commit to 10 minutes a day. And I was able to commit to 10 minutes a day. It started with that. I literally started with a 10-minute morning metabolic workout, maybe a walk around the block or two. That's it. What happened is I did it and I made progress. It gave me energy. I was like, woohoo. Then I felt like I was getting a little itchy. I'm like, I need to do more. This isn't enough for me. So last summer, I went for a walk with a friend who looked and was doing amazing things with his health. And he was doing 15,000 steps a day. And I was like, I drive a lot. I have a child and many activities. I can't commit to that. But what I can commit to after I looked at how low my step count was, it was shockingly low. I was like, I can do 5,000 minimum and aim for 10. And so I did that. And I was really, really rigorous with that. And I still do that. But now it's just part of what I do. That was June. September, I started working with a trainer once a week, going to the gym twice a week. And it was great. I kept up with that. I was like, wow, this is a really good next step for me. Then January, started tracking my macros, started tracking my calories. And I'm not saying this so that you have to follow my recipe. I'm not encouraging you to do this unless you really want to. This isn't even about fitness, but what this is about is this is about the process. This is about the evidence, because what happened wasn't just physical. I built a level of inner strength and self-trust that I had never felt before. Even previously, when I used to move, it was just because it was something I did. I'd never really made a commitment to my health. I never liked working out. I danced because it was cultural. I danced because that's where I met my husband and it's what we did together. But this level of commitment was to something brand new, and it was a little intimidating. It was a little scary at first, but I kept it. And no matter what, I kept doing it. My little commitments, my 10 minutes a day, my 5 to 10,000 steps, my gym, my tracking. And you know what's happened is over time, I've gotten results that have stuck. I feel so much more confident in my body than ever before. Not because I'm perfect, but because I've been consistent. My muscles used to squish. I always had good looking arms. They used to squish, and now they're strong. The confidence didn't come first. The consistency did. Quick pause to say thank you so much for being here. The feedback on the abundance effect has been absolutely incredible, and we want to keep these episodes deeply relevant to you. If there's a topic that you'd love for me to cover or a question that you want help with, email bookings@myabundanceacademy.ca. There's a link in the description of this video. We're always listening. Your voice shapes this show. So let's get back to it. Here's the deeper truth. When inconsistency becomes a pattern, you start thinking, why can't I stick to things? What's wrong with me? I should be further ahead. And you ask bad questions. But when you do ask bad questions, you're going to get the responses that you're looking for. They don't serve you. So just stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out. There's nothing wrong with you. Stop looking for evidence of that. Stop looking for evidence that things aren't working out for you. What you aren't giving is you're not giving your brain consistent enough evidence to prove that you are consistent, that things are working out for you. And so the real gap is what you say matters versus what you actually follow through on. So your brain believes what you do, not what you intend. I'm all about intention setting. Go ahead, set intentions. And there must be a follow through. Set the intentions and follow through. Set the intentions and follow through. Set the intentions and follow through. Because inconsistency creates internal doubt. Follow through builds identity. I'm going to say that again. Inconsistency builds internal doubt. Follow through creates identity. That is huge. So what rebuilds confidence? Not more motivation, not more planning, not more information. Completion does. Completion. Small, repeated, consistent follow through. And so here's the question I use all the time, and it's a game changer. Okay, I use this with clients all the time. Sounds really simple, but everyone that hears it, it's like, wow, this is a really good question. If I already had whatever your desired result is, insert it here. What would I be doing or not doing that's different from what I'm doing now? Okay, so this one will be in the show notes. Make sure you write it down and you answer it. Like, hit the pause button. I'm going to repeat it. If I already had whatever your desired result is, my beach body, my business at this revenue level, my relationship with my family or kids, whatever it is that you're working towards, whatever you want more confidence in, what would I be doing or not doing that's different from what I'm doing now? Not in theory, but in reality. And you might come up with 1, 2, 5, 10 things. I don't know. What would it be for you? The answer is going to be different for everyone, but you're going to be doing or not doing certain things. Then you're going to pick one thing. Pick one thing you identify and then fully commit to it. Sure, you can do all of it. You got to start with one thing, because here's the structure more people are missing. Decide less, follow through fully, repeat. Okay, choose one priority for the week. Maybe one priority for the month if a week's too short for you. Follow through fully, not half, not almost. Get your definition of done. You need a definition of done. Like, what does it actually look like, sound like, feel like to have this thing complete? Repeat weekly, repeat monthly, repeat, however often you need. There's no emotional resets, just structured ones, okay? Because completion creates evidence. Okay, so completion creates evidence. Evidence builds confidence. Okay, so evidence builds confidence, and confidence reinforces identity. Confidence reinforces identity. You don't become confident and then take action. You take action and become someone who trusts themselves. So if you're feeling the gap right now, don't go looking for motivation. Start right here. Choose one thing that matters, follow through, and do it again. Choose another thing that matters, follow through, then do it again. Choose another thing that matters, follow through, then do it again. Notice I'm repeating myself over and over and over again. I'm doing this on purpose. Why? Because it's simple. It's not necessarily easy, but it is really, really simple. And confidence, it's not something you wait for. It's something you build through consistent follow through. And if you take nothing else from today, I want you to take this. You don't need to become someone new. You need to start showing up as who you already are. Consistently. Your highest and best self each and every day. So with that, we're going to wrap. I'll see you again next week with another episode of The Abundance Effect. If this episode is helpful, share it with a friend, especially someone who needs to hear this conversation right now. This is how this work spreads.